Here's a boat that we have been familiar with now for a very long time, since they first came out about 15 years ago. We were the first people in Australia to order them after I saw them at an outdoor trade show in the US. We brought in a whole bunch of them back in the day, promoted them, paddled them, sold them. We liked the fact that, unlike just about any other folding kayak, they feel like a hard shell boat, and very much like the sorts of boats at the time that we were used to paddling. And while there are plenty of videos out there about TRAK kayaks showing you how to put them together, considering how inept I am, I didn't think it was worthwhile going into too much detail. You can see it. Rather, here's a condensation of about 20 minutes of me putting it together to show you just how simple it is, I suppose. First of all is the frame of the kayak, and that's about as hard to put together as any old normal tent. The carbon ribs you can see that give the frame structure. You then simply open up the skin and gently feed those ribs and that forward section, the bow section of the frame in. There's a big zip called a key to zip, which is kind of the key to the design. That opens up in the stern. Same deal. Open up the skin, slide it in gently, and she's starting to look like a boat. The unique thing about the TRAK are these hydraulic jacks that give the thing some structure. You simply pop them into the gap between the two frames, pump it up to extend the jacks and give the thing some shape. There's 3 of them all together. They slot into little guide holes inside, so you can do that without having to kill yourself trying to shove everything up into each end. Once they are in, the cockpit coaming slides on very logically. There's not really a wrong way to do it. The seat after that clips into a moulded fitting that again makes it impossible to put it in the wrong place. No bulkheads here, folks, so you need to have flotation in the boat. Otherwise, if you capsize and fill it up with water, that might just be the last time it's ever seen. The boat comes with 2 big flotation bags, which of course, if you're going to use it for a trip, become your gear carrying dry bags. So they're a great multi-purpose addition, and obviously keeping it upright and floating. The seat itself has a little tensioner to make sure you have that in the right position. It has a series of very handy deck lines, the types of things all good, top-end kayaks have to stow things on your deck and to make it possible to rescue. It has deck lines that go all the way around the outside of the boat. And once you've got it together, you simply jack those jacks up to get the boat symmetrical and looking like the sort of thing you'd expect to be able to go out on the ocean on and have some fun in. So there, very inept me, quite proud of myself. There is the TRAK all done. Weight-wise, I reckon it's about 24 kilos once you've got it together, so it's a bit lighter than your average Brit, Nigel Dennis Valley style boat. Taking it down to the beach, there's a look at the thing put together. Exactly what you'd expect to see when somebody says sea kayak, and obviously all folding into a nice little bag. Okay, now that I've got this put together, I'm going to get her out on this beautiful, absolutely amazing August day here and take for a paddle, see how the TRAK feels after all these years. The first thing that strikes you about the TRAK is that you don't, for a second, think of it as a folder. I've jumped in a few folders over the years just to see how they felt, and to me they were always kind of like a big floating caterpillar, whereas this is a rigid, for all intents and purposes, a hard shell boat. You notice that as soon as you're afloat, it responds in a very nimble way to any movements you make to get it to turn. But those big, long, hard chines that obviously intrinsic to the frame shape, they make it really, really predictable. A little bit of craft wash there bounced through me, which was actually the most fun the boat felt the whole time. It ran, so I didn't get the impression that I was kind of kick-starting a big floating log every time. I felt like I was getting a bit of glide and a bit of run, which is obviously something I'm very used to. And on such a gorgeous day, it was cool to play a few little tricks and see how it turned and throw a few old strokes and things in. just what I remember, if not possibly even a little better than how I remember the track being.
So obviously this isn't my normal craft of choice, especially in recent years. You're more likely to find me in a high performance lightweight ocean racing ski or a fast touring sea kayak like our own Audax. It's brought back a lot of the cool things I used to do in British skeg boats. Dropping an edge to make the boat turn, using your eyes to make the boat go where you want it to go. And this track has a lot of secondary stability for just that sort of stuff. As you can see when I just drop it really calmly onto that chine. Tracking wise, rudderless kayaks, there's always an assumption that you need a degree of skill to keep them straight. And maybe I've got that and I don't notice, but with this set somewhere in between its most severe rocker setting and the real fun banana shaped rocker, it tracked all the way along the coast here today without any drama. I really enjoyed paddling it. So, as you can probably imagine, folding boats aren't really our thing. Rob, in past incarnations, has owned old boats like Feathercrafts before they disappeared. And to me, they were always something that people owned because they loved the whole ritual of putting them together and cleaning the bits. And personally, I couldn't care less about that. I just want to get in something and paddle it. So if this was, not a good boat to paddle, then I wouldn't be really wasting my time. But if you have any experience paddling, say, British skeg boats like the Valley Aquanaut or the Gemini or the Nigel Dennis Romany, that's what this feels like. And you can pack it up into the size of a golf bag and take it away on your adventures.
So the verdict after an hour and a half skipping around the rocks and just generally getting a feel for it, great fun. Considering this packs up into something a little bigger than the size of your average golf bag, wow. For an extended trip, if you were going to take it on a plane, head off around an island, you can't imagine that you would get more into something so portable than the TRAK folder. That's our demo that you can see there on the screen. If you'd like any more advice or any more information on them, we have that there available to paddle in our store in Sydney around all the waterways around our area. And there will be a link in the notes on this video on YouTube to get you to the ordering page and let you know what sort of colours and things are available and how much they cost. Terrific boat.